of Lake Erie to Browns fans worldwide. Hope is alive and the future's bright. This is There's a Gleam podcast, a Cleveland Browns podcast. Let's get the gleam together. Cold Lake wind and orange lights, Sunday fire, dog pound nights. We won the scars, we stood the test, brown and orange across our chest. From the Muni lot to the end zone line, this city's heart still beats in time. Through every loss and every dream, you can feel it rise. There's a gleam. Let's get the gleam together. This is our time. Let's get the gleam together. Whoa. Let's get the gleam together. This is our town.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our show. There's a Gleam podcast, the Cleveland Browns podcast. Today is Wednesday, May 20th, and it is not our customary 12:02, but it is 12:04 p.m. today. Johnny, how are you feeling, and how you doing today, buddy?
Well, Steve, funny you should ask.
Uh-oh.
I know we talk football on this podcast,
Yep.
but that Cavs game last night felt like a Browns game at the end. I
Mm.
don't know what, they just fell apart. I'm still stunned this morning. I'm still stunned. I don't know how you feel about it, but I don't know what happened.
I don't have much to say for right now, except maybe in a 2-minute drill, which may or may not
Oh,
talk
good.
about that.
Yeah, I'm speechless. And then I don't know, Steve. We'll talk about it later in the 2-minute drill. But
I
other than
think
that, I'm doing great. Unfortunately, the weather's taking a turn too. That's adding to my misery.
Right. We had what, upper 80s? I think my truck a couple times said 90.
Yeah,
At least upper 80s, 90 Sunday and Monday, or Monday and Tuesday, and then bam. I think we're in the 50s and maybe 60 today and tomorrow, something like
rain all through the Memorial weekend. So
that. Oh man, you're not kidding, man. I saw the weather. For us, it's a big weekend. Well, one, it's Memorial Day weekend, so it's the unofficial start of summer. And
yeah,
for us, boating season, that's a big weekend for us. And yeah, I saw the weather too, and pretty much rain. I don't think it's washouts the whole day, but
no, but I don't think it's gonna be. Maybe it'll be. You know what? You never know, Steve.
it'll be 70s, and I will not complain. I'm tired of the cold, so but it's a long holiday week, so that's a plus. Unofficial start to summer, 3-day weekend for most people, boating season. So, and I was doing pretty miserable with the Cavs too, just for the record. But but we got some good stuff to talk about today. We got to get the what's the word I'm looking for, John?
The I know what you're trying to say.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Pleasantries out of the way. The pleasantries, whatever you want.
However you want to talk it, we got to get that out of the way. So remember, we are live Wednesdays at noon here on wherever you're watching this, YouTube, Facebook, at There's a Gleam Podcast, or X at Hemi44. You can find us both on TikTok. John is at John There's a Gleam. I'm at There's a Gleam Podcast. You can also listen to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Which John's been excellent. You've been getting them up actually shortly after the show.
Yeah, I've got it down pretty good now, Steve. It took me like 20 weeks, but then I figured it out.
Oh, too bad we don't have behind the scenes video of stuff. I remember when we got that, and you're like setting it all up, the struggles, the stuff you went through. And I'll give you credit because you did it all. I was like, I'm not even attempting you. So you kind of did everything for us. And I remember the first time you did it. You're like, I did it. I don't think I'll remember how, but I did it.
I even wrote it down, and I couldn't figure it out the next time how I did it.
Couldn't figure out what I wrote. So that's awesome. And then finally, check out our website at www.there'sagleam.com. You can use our QR code up above, which I always do this backwards. That way, you can't even see my hand in that. But QR code, you can scan that and find our website. I don't even see it on my screen. But anyway, so you know where to find us. If you don't by now, and like I said, Facebook keeps on growing and growing. Every week we're getting more and more, which thank you for that. YouTube's starting to grow a little bit. I know on our other platforms, you and I are getting new followers every day. So we thank you for that. Love hearing the feedback, comments. So keep that coming. And you've got, John, well, we always say there's the voice message on our website. You can leave us a voice message. Pretty easy. Just click the start recording button. Once you're done, hit the stop button. You can give your name and email, or if you don't want to, you don't have to. It's optional. Hit that send button, and it's that simple, and we could play it on one of our shows. So, John, I think on the website, you had a pretty good question for this past week. What was the Gleam meter?
The question was, how do you feel about Deshaun Watson starting this year?
Okay. I know we got some pretty good feedback from that, so we'll be playing that in our Gleam meter segment here. But we both wanted to give a quick shout out want to give a quick shout out to local radio host and John's apparent lookalike, or maybe he's the apparent John lookalike, but Tony Rizzo. If you're from the area, you know Riz. He's been on ESPN KNR for forever. He was on Fox 8. We're actually friends and fans of his show, The Really Big Show, and what he does. We've been many times. We've been in their fantasy league, and John, we even won it one year as the memorable Prestige Worldwide franchise.
I remember that. And that was the one year they didn't go to Vegas, and we didn't go
to Vegas. That's when they started doing the rings. We're like, man, we want to win a Vegas trip, and they started doing the rings, but it's still fun. We were memorable. We did that pretty good skit, which was a spoof off Step Brothers, which everyone, when we got there, they knew right away who we were. But we've also, we've done a ton with them. We did Motley Crue concert with them.
Oh, that's right. We did the Motley Crue concert.
Yeah. Remember when Casey was back with them as their producer? Aaron Goldhammer's been there with them most of the time. We've done a Browns roundtable on a Friday. But anyway, he had a heart attack a few Sundays ago and was back on the radio Monday. And, glad to hear you're feeling better, Riz, and good to be alive. And I'm going to play a quick, in his own words, he can kind of tell you what happened.
Sundays ago, I woke up and I went to Bialy's Bagels. I got back to my home at 11:30. And my chest seized up. And I couldn't breathe. And I had a heart attack. I'm lucky to be alive. I am. The doctor told me, had I waited, and you know me, you know I'm not hospital guy. But I knew right away, the good Lord let me know, you get your ass to the hospital right now. Something's very wrong. Had I waited about 45 minutes, I would have died. And I'm like, wow, this is what it feels like to die. I thought I was going to die. I did. But they saved me. Thank you, Doc Miller. Thank you, Hillcrest Hospital. Thank you, Cleveland Clinic. I love you.
So there you go. But we're glad to hear you're feeling better, Riz. And like he said, good to be alive, Johnny.
Yeah, wow. I'm glad he's doing better back in the studio. It's a pretty scary moment for him, I imagine.
Yes, sir. Clip that. So, all right, guys, today we're going to talk. We got a lot to talk about. We got Browns news, as always. This is a Browns podcast, but we changed our segments up a little bit. We paid big money to have some, what would you call it, John? Studies done in our segments and stuff, which we're constantly tweaking. So a little bit of different lineup, I'd say.
Yeah. What was the name of the study group the Browns had for like quarterbacks? I forget the name of them. That
we did not use them.
We did not use them.
But we got Browns news. I know it's the good and bad when we do our show. Sometimes we're on the cutting edge. It happens the day before. Sometimes it's a week later. But we are going to talk a little schedule release. OTA started yesterday. Browns sold a minority share, which we'll talk a little bit about this. I don't know how much we will, but I found it interesting and I don't understand it. But there's some roster moves. We got a little bit of AFC North news. Some NFL news, the Gleam meter, as we mentioned, about Deshaun Watson. We'll be talking about that. The land segment this week, I did a segment for Longo's Pizza and Menor. Shout out to them. And then inside the dog pound, we got our free agent Fido of the week, Estelle, and much more. So, John, you ready to get started, buddy?
Let's get it rolling today with some Browns news.
There you go. What do you got for us to start with, John?
Well, the big news last week, it was last Thursday, I believe, was the schedule release, and a couple of interesting things with the schedule. We're starting on the road for the first 2 weeks of the season in Florida.
Yeah.
So we're
I'm
going
bummed
to
about
Jackson.
that a little bit.
What's that?
I'm a little bummed about that. I was really hoping, especially the Tampa one, I was really hoping that was going to be later in the year. You know, when it's kind of cold here, I really want to do a road trip. I know between you, me, and our two other buddies, KB and Jacobs, we've always talked about doing a guys trip, and I can't think of a better place than Florida in the fall, winter, hang out.
Cool.
But anyway.
Then we only got one primetime game, which I kind of thought we were only going to have one. I thought it might be Pittsburgh or Baltimore. It ended up being Pittsburgh, and that's home week 4. That's Thursday night. So, Steve, we're going to have to make plans for that one. I don't know what we're going to do for tailgating, what time we're going to get down there. You know, those Thursday games are always tough with the downtown traffic in the afternoon. So
those are tough. I love them and hate them. We talked about it a little before. It's so hard to, you know, years ago when we had our tailgate group, the Muni crew, we somehow were able to get down there at about 1:00, you know, but both of us with different jobs or different parts of our life, we can't do that as easy anymore. So that's a tough tailgate game for sure.
That is, but I do love the energy at Thursday night in downtown Cleveland. So
we've had some pretty good Thursday night games, and especially with Pittsburgh too. So that's going to be kind of interesting.
Yeah, that snow game was a fun one with
the one I didn't go to because I didn't want to sit in the elements and risk getting sick before holidays, I think it was. So yeah.
Then we got 3 straight road games, week 7 through 9.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. That kind of sucks, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really weird too. Then we have 4 straight home games with a bye week in between, so they're home for like 5 weeks. So I don't know. I just don't like how the schedule lays out for us. I feel like we kind of got the short end of the schedule stick this year.
Yeah, it really was a weird schedule. Like you said, you open up 3 times on the road, or I mean, you have the 2 road games, and then your 3 straight weeks being away. And what was it? I forget. You know, I love having more home games. It's catch-22. I love having more home games earlier in the season because we tailgate. I want warm weather. I don't want cold, snow, crappy. But later in the season, it's nice to have the home games because late in the season, hopefully you're battling for the playoffs or whatnot. But yeah, that's that one. They didn't really do us any favors. And then once again, we end the season at Cincy. I looked that up. It's actually the 3rd time in 4 years we've ended in Cincy.
Interesting.
And I don't know, there's probably something to it because we're division and stuff. I was going back I wanted to see. I stopped at like 2014, but since 2014 till this upcoming season, we end with a division opponent.
I think that's how the NFL tries to set it up.
I think so too. It makes sense. Most of the time, you know, Cincy we've done it with Pittsburgh a lot. There's been a few times they've been here, but it seems like a lot of times we're on the road. But Cincy, 3 out of the last 4 years, counting this upcoming season, we'll end the season in Cincy once again.
So, honest opinion, Steve.
Yes, sir.
How many wins are you looking at this year with this schedule?
Ooh, I really didn't.
The schedule game.
I didn't really look at that.
You want to do real quick? I'll do it with you real quick if you want.
Yeah, hit us.
All right. Browns at Jacksonville.
I'm going to say win.
All right. Browns at Buccaneers.
I'm going to say loss. What are you? Are you keeping track? What are you, Jacksonville?
I'm keeping track of yours. Let's focus on you. I'll tell you if I agree or disagree.
Okay.
Panthers at Browns.
It's the first home game. That's a win. We're going to be in our new seats in the dog pound. That's a win.
All right, then. Steelers at Browns. Thursday night.
That's a win. We own them, especially on Thursday nights. We own the Steelers.
They're our little bitches.
Yes, sir.
Browns at Jets.
Win.
Ravens at Browns.
Win. Home game. I always say you got to win the home ones.
I agree with you. You got to win that home game against the Ravens. Browns at Titans.
Win. They're terrible. I'm going to say win. I'm not sold on Cam Ward.
Browns at Pittsburgh.
I don't like where this is going, but you know what? I'm going to say loss.
I disagree. I think that's a win.
I caved.
Browns at Saints.
I'm going to say win.
Texans at Browns.
I'm going to say win.
Raiders at Browns.
Win.
Bengals at Browns.
Of course, it's a win. Burrow will be out at that point.
Kevin Stefanski coming back.
You know that's a win. That guy, watch the Falcons go off for like 44 points against us or something crazy.
Browns at Giants.
Win.
Browns at Ravens.
Loss.
Colts at Browns.
That's a win. Home field advantage everybody claims we got,
Last game of the year, Browns at Bengals.
I'm going to say loss because we're going to be sitting all our starters because obviously I've got us winning the division. Where are we at?
I got you with the Browns going 13-4. I differed with you on one game. I could actually even probably differ with you on the Tampa game because I think we're going to beat Baker, but I'm going to go that they're going to go 14-3. All right, let's put the pipes down, boys.
What does Vegas have us at? Like 6.5 or something?
Something like that.
And they're usually never wrong. Our buddy James, how you doing? James said home field advantage later in the season will be great. Remember, the team plays way better at home. Both true. Maybe if we're on the road earlier, it will help them get better. And very all true points. Agree with you, James. He also said my guy said full Gleam and a full effect.
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, realistically, that was being pretty.
Realistically, Steve, I'm looking for 8 wins.
I'd say with the talent on this team, it all goes on the quarterback. But if we get decent quarterback, this is an 8 to 10 win team. I think talent alone. And let's not forget, Pittsburgh's got a new coach, new systems. We'll talk about them in the next coming up segment. Baltimore, new coach, new systems. Cincy, well, same coach, but
Cincy.
Yeah, same old. Their defense was terrible. I know they addressed that. So we got as good a chance as anyone, right? I honestly don't think you could say in our division there's a clear-cut favorite. Can you?
If I had to, I'd say Baltimore, but I cannot say that right now.
You're John Ryder. You don't have to do anything. But no, seriously. I mean, years past, yeah, let's be honest. Last year, you'd be like, oh, it's Baltimore.
Right.
Baltimore.
No, I don't feel that way this year.
I don't feel that way with all the changes. James even said he thinks we sweep Pittsburgh. You know what? If I could change that, I would probably change that because I think you're right. I'm not sold on Pittsburgh and maybe a loss to the Saints. They are improving, but whatever. No, I think it's all fair points.
Well, to get to that 14-3 or 13-4, it's all going to run through the quarterback.
Yeah.
OTA started yesterday.
Yes, they did.
And the big story, Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
Is he going to be able to come back from this injury? I feel he's got the inside lane on the starting job.
I agree.
They had that Achilles injury. He looked slow before the injury. I hope he doesn't look slower. Hopefully he's about the same. He's only played in 19 games though, Steve.
Not a lot to go off of, but they say it's been the healthiest he's been in for a long time. And having last year off, he really was able to fully recover.
What does Watson have to do to win this job? Just be consistent?
Yeah, or Shedeur to not look good and throw a lot of interceptions. I mean, like we said, I really hope Shedeur wins this myself. I don't see a future with Watson. I mean, I'll be kind of ready for that. I thought it ended, but apparently we have one more season at least with this. So I want to see what Shedeur has. I mean, if he's the guy or not, and if not, next year everybody talks about the draft. So what do you think?
I'm sorry. To me, it'd be a shame though to just have Shedeur sit all year, have Watson play, win 8 games, and then go into next year's draft still not with a quarterback
and not knowing. I mean,
not knowing.
Oh, I agree. James said either way, Shedeur will be on the field by week 5. Based on his history, Watson, he's either going to be probably hurt. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. The competitive side, I want the best quarterback to play. And if Watson was going to get us 12 wins, and we're going to make the playoffs and he's going to be this quarterback I thought he was going to be. Yeah, I guess. But it's so nice not to talk about all the off the field stuff with him. I know the legal matters are over and whatnot, but it's nice not to talk about that.
It really is.
So I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Well, I think it's going to come down to who can operate Todd Monken's offense the best.
Really is. I mean, let's face it. We talked about this. think Monken, what is he, 60 or just over 60? I mean, this
Yeah.
guy wants to win. He ain't,
He
I
doesn't
think
care about what happened before. He wants
I
to
think
win
he's-
now. It's his
Nope,
one
I think-
shot.
I totally agree. I think he's going to play the player that gives him the best chance to win. I mean, this guy wants him in. He's older. I don't know how he doesn't know how long that leash is. And, so we shall see.
You got to wonder, too, is this going to look a lot different than Stefanski's offense?
Yeah, because that kind of ticked me off. I mean, they said that, they're going to cater stuff to him. And I don't think they really, under Stefanski's, I always thought a good coordinator tailored an offense around that player, not the player's going to fit my system.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem like Stefanski did that at all.
It really didn't, which is a little shocking. I kind of thought he was doing that in the beginning when he first got here.
Right.
But then it kind of changed somewhere along the line. I'm not sure. It got really murky.
I agree.
So when we're talking quarterback reps, Steve, how would you break it down? Would you give Watson the majority of the reps right now and then Sanders, Gabriel, or would you go with Sanders with more of the reps?
You're adorable, but Gabriel, no offense, Dylan. He's probably a nice kid.
He'll get a couple reps.
He's in the back. Taylor Green, even behind that. Personally, I'd rather see Sanders, but I guess if it's a true competition, what do you think? Split between the two? Would you favor one or the other?
Yeah, I think going right in the first handful of days, you got to go pretty even, and then make your decision from there. James Frank said, rather see what we have in Shedeur, because even if Watson comes out and balls and gets us a playoff win, are we really going to sign him to another big deal?
Right.
See who Shedeur is. I agree.
Totally agree with that. Absolutely. Nope. I 100. That's why I say I don't see the point in playing him. I really don't think you're going to sign him to another contract. And if Watson plays and does what he says, gets us 8 or 9 wins,
yeah,
he should be gone. You still don't know what you have with Sanders. I mean, he practiced with you all year. You're middle of the road. Then what do you do? I mean, if he stinks, I don't know. If he stinks, then your record stinks. But then Sanders,
you get a great draft pick. So that's what happens.
Well, and what they're going to say? Oh, Sanders and Godwin if he comes in that late in the year, there'll be excuses why he either didn't play well or something. You get a true look at him. It'll just be a cluster.
I hear what you're saying, Steve, but we are not Todd Monken. We are not playing with the opportunity of a lifetime now. And I think he will play the quarterback that's going to give him the best chance to win. Everything that happened, he wasn't tied to any of that stuff in the past.
I agree.
So
it's all fair points. So
yeah,
we shall find out.
Also, OTA, Steve, I'm going to be watching these wide receivers.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in Casey Concepcion. I told you, I've said it before, quickly turning into one of my favorite Browns players, and Denzel Boston, who I really like a lot too.
Yep. I love both of them. I can't wait to see them. Should be interesting. And I kind of see how Judy responds now. You got some help around you, some more talent. Is he going to expand on what he did last year? So a lot to be excited about. On a quick side note, and I don't think we had this in our show notes today.
What's that?
You were talking about Concepcion. I thought Junkin made the big announcement. He was at number 1, switching from 10 to 1. Now there was all over social media the last week and Concepcion being at some rookie thing where he was wearing number 1. Now they've come out and said he is number 1. Junkin's back to number 10. Jefferson, who was a rookie, who took number 10, is now 17. And what the hell? My head's spinning.
I know.
What's going on?
My understanding is that Concepcion outbid Judkins for that number.
I didn't know that was. I assumed, I guess, that if you're a veteran,
you get it.
You got first dibs.
I think it comes down to Cage.
I mean, short of you being the number 1 franchise quarterback pick with something like that, this guy's changing a number. I'm coming here. Yeah, no. But I mean, you're a first round receiver pick, but Junkins in his own right was interesting. So I guess he's back to 10. So hope nobody bought number 1 Junkin jerseys or else you're screwed.
In that couple of weeks that he was number 1. Would you, let me ask you this. Would you, if you were, let's say you were in the NFL, NBA, whatever, would you pay for your jersey number, or would you just take whatever they gave you?
No, I probably would. I'm kind of superstitious. Growing up, that I played baseball, football, basketball. There were certain numbers I had always tried to have. And then eventually, like, I remember baseball. My favorite number was 7 as a kid, playing Little League. Then I got into high school, played high school ball. I had to move. I switched to 17 and then eventually 25. But I mean, there are certain numbers I just relate with, whether it's players, football. Shout out to Ernest Biner and Brian Bosworth. Remember the Boz?
44.
44 was my favorite. What about you? I know one of your numbers for sure.
21 is my favorite number.
Yeah. You've had that. And when we played basketball together, softball, I always remember you as a 21.
See, I could go, I could always go 20. I wouldn't mind that, but I would think I would pay for 21.
Yeah.
Mike Palmer just said, I hope Monken doesn't take coaching advice from Atkinson. Did you hear what he said? He was proud of his guy, the Cavs, last night. Are you kidding me? You're proud of them for blowing that lead?
Oh, yeah. No. I always get confused. I always have to do a double check, to be honest with you, because I'm guilty. I spend a lot of time on X looking at stuff. That's usually my go-to for stuff. And they always have these parody accounts.
Yeah.
And I'll happen to see an interview. I'll play it. And I'm like, he just said that. And I'm like, oh, no, it's those lip service things. And they change. I'm like, oh, wait, no, that wasn't the actual. And then, oh, this one was. But I did watch some of them. Some of the stuff he said, whatever. We'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Let's see what else we have. Oh, Steve, the big news, too. Todd Monken and Deshaun Watson reportedly hit it off together. So that's for Jeremy Fowler, ESPN. So that kind of solidifies kind of what I'm thinking with Watson. I think that Monken's gonna go. I think he's probably gonna go Watson. I hate to say it. I really hate to say it.
Mike said, I made 21 great in you. Oh, yeah. No, I did see that. That's kind of an interesting. Now, are they? Is this truly going on? Do they truly believe it? Are they trying to pump him up for something? Like, hey, we're trying to build this guy up for. I mean, I don't think we can trade him. I think the ramifications are still too big. But is there more ulterior motives? Is this real? Although Monken to me doesn't come across as comes more across as a no nonsense type of guy. No.
Yeah, and I think actually I don't see anybody that wouldn't hit it off with Todd Monken unless you're a real dimwit, you know.
I think most players,
he's a player's kind of coach.
Well, most players, I think the thing you'll hear the most from him is, I want a coach to be upfront and honest.
Yeah,
that seems like that's him. He's not going to BS you, and like some others.
Steve, I saw this video the other day. I don't know if you saw it. It was Kevin Stefanski talking at a press conference, and I wanted to gag myself with a spoon, 1980s reference style. I mean, come on, like same old coming up. And I'm sure they're going to get tired of it down in Atlanta after a while too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Mike said Atkinson should have used the Schottenheimer prevent defense. Yeah, that's another source, I think. But what else of the Browns news we got, John?
There was a story that came out that said the Browns in 2004 were in on the Eli Manning trade.
I did. Yeah. Yes, I did.
Manning said his dad actually didn't like the idea of refusing to play for San Diego and only stepped in publicly to protect Eli.
I don't really get the San Diego reason, to be honest, back then. Do you?
It makes no sense. Well, Drew Brees was there, right? Was that part of it?
No, maybe. Was that why?
Brees, maybe he didn't want to go because Brees. I don't know. It didn't make sense. But yeah, he didn't want to go to San Diego, but he'd go to New York. I don't know. I guess he said Eli explained felt uneasy after meeting with the Chargers organization before the draft. He described tension and arguments between ownership, the front office, and then head coach, guess who? Marty Schottenheimer, during the pre-draft dinner. So he's a Manning.
Well, and here's this one. I had to Google it real quick. He refused. It says that he refused to play for the Chargers because he lacked confidence in the organization's commitment to winning. Since dysfunction and tension among head coach, GM, owners, all that.
Yeah.
Prior quarterback struggles, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, Drew Brees was
there.
He was the primary starting quarterback in 2004. So
when was Brees there? So they got rid of Brees before 2004. Correct?
Well, yeah, they think they traded
Brees and Rivers. And then Brees with his shoulder.
Yeah.
So Well, anyways, with the Browns that year in 2004, they had the number 7 pick, and
he was in 2001, by the way.
Breeze.
Yeah, he was a second round. Wasn't he the first pick in second round? I do remember that. And that was also the same year as LaDainian Tomlinson. So you had LaDainian Tomlinson. You didn't want to play. Oh, I mean, I guess it worked out for Eli in the end, but yeah, I never quite understood the whole, other than like you said, maybe because Breeze was there, you know, that he didn't want to deal with it. But I don't know.
If Cleveland were they were able to make that trade in 2004, would our history have changed?
You know what? I'm going to say yes, believe it or not. Why?
Why?
Why you ask?
Why you ask?
Because we are bloodline. We are bloodline guys, John. It goes back from Clay Matthews not being drafted, son of the great Clay Matthews here. How you don't take him as a Browns team. Passing on Watt, JJ Watt, the TJ Watt, and other historical things. I am a bloodlines guy, but Manning's history, his demeanor, actually, I'll give, because I mean, let's be honest, New York's a tough crowd.
Yeah,
that's not easy. I think he probably could have succeeded here.
I will take the other end on this, Steve, because as much as I hear what you're saying,
you're just a hater. Go ahead and hate. Hater's gonna hate. Homer's gonna home, but go ahead, hater.
Hater's gonna hate. I'm not a big Eli Manning fan. I don't see it. I think he would have crumbled under the pressure trying to win in Cleveland.
You think
he doesn't have the makeup for it?
Wow. See, I think he does. I think he's got the demeanor. He's so low key that I don't think it would have bothered him.
I don't think he could have come here and turned this around. It's going to take
some abuse in New York. Remember, he struggled for a while. In fact, I think he was benched at one point. So I don't know. I think his demeanor, his bloodlines, I think he would have. So I guess we'll never know. But
we'll never know.
Never know. What
one
else?
Last little tidbit here: the Browns have sold 3% minority stake to a private equity firm, Arctos Partners. They already have stock in the Chargers and Bills.
I thought they already. I don't get that, but
it's just I think it makes the Haslams more liquid, so they can have more money to start spending, especially with everything going on with that stadium.
Right. Well, yeah, you're right about that, because they're talking about they now expecting shocker overages, overruns in the cost. But so last I heard it was what, 6.4 over $6 billion, we'll say 6.4 billion that the teams were. So 3% equity, doing quick fuzzy math, is got to be around 192. I'm just messing with you. I got it right in front of me. It's 192 million, but I wanted to seem smarter than what I was. So
I knew you were that smart.
I was going to sell that like you wouldn't believe, but no, it's 192 million. That ain't chump change. And it's more of an investment. It's what they say. They have absolutely no say in nothing. You just invested because, let's be honest,
you're going to make money. You're going to make money.
They're going to go up and up and up. So, but I don't know if we have the time for it. I did do some research. I'm like, how is it possible for something like this to be part owners in multiple teams and stuff? But the NFL voted on that back in 24. What I did in a short version of what it was, John, was they voted back for it to allow private equity funds to buy stakes in teams. There was a great article I read by, I think her name's Judy Batista. It was on the NFL.com website. You kind of alluded to it. Why do it? It's simple. Even it's liquidity, and existing owners can sell stakes in their teams for hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's a way for them to generate cash infusion that they can use for whatever they want. Stadium projects, facility upgrades, or anything. So, and it also helps them when they sell the teams, because it also helps them with buyers and stuff and whatnot. So
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was interesting. 3%. Don't you wish you had about 3% laying around to invest?
Steve, if I hit the lotto and I get about $200 million, I would consider spending that, but I wouldn't say on the team. I'm not going to just invest.
Dude, you got to go up. I always thought if you hit, remember how you're getting some of those close to $1 billion?
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't own it, but how much of a percent could I get of that? And I always thought about that too. So, and then we had a little bit of Browns news this week. We should probably top off with, no?
Browns. We just went over the Browns news.
I'm sorry, roster
couple
moves.
signings. A couple signings that
Roster
we had.
moves. Yeah,
Yeah,
I meant roster moves. Sorry.
Yeah, go over those real quick.
So we signed 3 rookie tryout players. Big one was that wide receiver Aaron Anderson, who I heard a decent amount during the camp. We signed him, linebacker Reed Carrico, and defensive end Marquise Watts. And then doing that, they waived 3 players: defensive tackle Bernard Gooden, didn't really know him, tight end Caden Priestcorn, who was with us, and then this one he was with us too. Wide receiver Isaiah. Well, they all were with us, but Isaiah Wooden. And then the other big news was Emmanuel McNeil Warren finally signed his contract. So that just leaves your new favorite Brown player, KC Concepcion, is the only unsigned rookie.
I don't know why he's not signing. It's all pretty much laid out. You're not going to like change a whole lot.
I don't know if there was some. I thought I read something. I think it was a BS thing. There's so much fake stuff out there, but I don't get it. It's all kind of mapped out. You're slotted, so whatever. I think it's a matter of time.
Yeah, I think he'll be there. At least he's he's at OTAs and all that. He's participating.
Yep. All right. Look, that is it. We've shuffled things around a little bit, but know your enemy. AFC North news is our next segment.
I also put AFC North intel. I don't know. See, we don't have this segment nailed down. If anybody wants to comment what they like better, AFC North intel or know your enemy, feel free to give us a post. We'll probably use whatever you guys say.
I do like the little write-up that you did, the little graphic. That is pretty cool. So it's better than our basic one. So, okay.
AFC North intel. So the only story, Steve, that I have, and I'm sure most people know about this already, is Aaron Rodgers. Finally, we get to stop talking about this. He's going back to Pittsburgh.
Thank God.
For his 22nd NFL season. And it reunites him with Mike McCarthy. Together they won Super Bowl 10, 15, what is that, Steve? What number is XLV? 10, 14? No. What?
XLV?
XL 25? 50. 45.
What was the number?
XLV. Are you going to Google that?
No, I know it.
You know it? Okay, what's XLV?
I just wanted to hear you keep going. You know it for
I know X is 10, but then you throw an L after it, it turns into like 50 minus 10. Then it's 40. And then you add V, which is 5. So I'm going to say 45 is my final answer. Is that right?
Yes, you are.
Woo! Champion.
Yeah. That was funny, Joe. Just listen to you go. Watching your mind work is a beautiful thing.
It's scary. Rodgers is 42 years old and he gets $22 million guaranteed.
Yes, sir. So, I'm just glad we're done talking about him finally, for now anyway.
Does this make Pittsburgh now a legitimate contender in the AFC? Or are they just postponing a rebuild? Dominic, oh my goodness. He must have been laughing at me.
Probably. We are special. I've been told by family and many people I'm special, and so is John. I mean, I guess, they made the playoffs last year, I guess. So you have to say they are, although I don't really think they are. But you know what? I'll say because I think alone the improvement in coordinator there, going from Arthur Smith to McCarthy, somebody who he's familiar with, and with the weapons. I mean, they did add the receiver Pittman. So I'm gonna say, they're a division contender, which would be a playoff contender. What about you?
I hate when you're right. I hate when you say things that make sense because you're right. They are. Yeah.
All right, my friend. On that note, what do we have for?
Let's do a sponsor read, Steve. I'm ready for a sponsor read. How about Wet Jet Pressure Washing?
Yes, sir.
Winter's in the rearview mirror, and now it's time to get your home or business looking right again. Wet Jet Pressure Washing is the move. Now they're based in Pennsville Township and cover all of Northeast Ohio. House washing, roof cleaning, gutters, concrete sealing, deck restoration, commercial fleet cleaning. They handle it all. They've been doing this since 2001, 25 years of experience, almost a little bit longer than Aaron Rodgers actually has been in the NFL. They're fully insured, bonded, and using top-of-the-line equipment with eco-friendly cleaning solutions. This isn't a guy with a hose. This is the pros. And here's where you win. Mention There's a Gleam podcast, and you get $75 off their spring cleaning package. That's a full house wash and exterior windows, Call Scott and the team at 440-283-WASH. That's 440-283-9274, or visit wetjetpressurewashing.com. Wetjet Pressure Washing, clean that stands out. Let's get that gleam back.
There you go. Well said, John. Yep. Appreciate them. Appreciate Scott and his gang. So what do we got next? Gleam meter.
Ooh,
segment
good.
readjustment. We got our gleam meter.
Oh, Steve, I got now. Can you get that picture up, Steve?
Gleam meter.
All right, Steve, Gleam meter this week. So the question we asked was Deshaun Watson. Where's your Gleam at for Deshaun Watson? Basically 1 through 5, and it's let me see, I have it right here. 5 full Gleam. He's a franchise quarterback. 4 bright Gleam. He's a difference maker. 3 steady Gleam, can win you some games and keep you competitive. 2, he's a flicker, shows flashes, but too many question marks. And 1, no Gleam, backup vibes, not the answer. We had some responses. A lot of people, it's funny, Steve, a lot of people left responses but didn't give their number for the Gleam meter, but that's okay. They're getting the hang of it. From TikTok, Freddie gave them a 3. He gives them the best chance of winning. Sonic Thornwalker, hope for a 3, expect a 1. That's some logical thinking there. JC Chopper, money, I guess money might rise to the top. He's saying because you're paying Watson, you're going to have to play him. He gave him a 3. We also have one of our listeners of the show, our fans of the show, Mike Palmer. We've been getting back in touch with Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, and he said pretty much.
Country.
Yeah, he said pretty much for me, I don't care who plays as long as we get wins. We have a great opportunity this year with an easier schedule, so they just need to get together and win. Even when Watson was healthy before, he was terrible. My opinion, it was because the team didn't want to play for him. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't know what will change with that now, because once again, we will upset the team chemistry. And for that, I'm bordering between no Gleam and a flicker. So I'm thinking, Steve, what we're looking right now, we're probably looking at around a 2 to 3 for Watson.
That's so funny. I was going to say a 2.5 if you can give points, but yeah, that's pretty reasonable, I think.
I think, a 3 is a steady Gleam, can win games and keep you competitive. Flicker shows flashes, but too many question marks. I mean, that's Deshaun Watson in a nutshell. I
mean, yeah, his history's been injury and everything that's happened without question. So I would totally agree. I'm at a 2 personally. Where were you at?
I'm at a 2.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go, people. That's what we got for that. And if you remember, remove some of the things there for us.
Delete them. Yeah.
Yeah. And as our reshuffling begins, we have moved up. Well, one of our favorite segments, the land segment. Food, culture, people, places, our city. This is Cleveland. So this week I got to do it.
Yeah, you did. You got a good one too. I wanted to go here.
Yeah, I actually, I've done carryout. I think my family lives in Menor, so done carryout before. And
I love the logo of Longo's Pizza just by itself.
Right?
That's a cool
we went
logo.
to our club. We were at our club Friday, and our club was jam-packed. I mean, it was bumping. That place was filled to the max. I was with my wife, my buddy Chris, his son was there. We're looking, I'm like, we're not eating here. It's just too busy. So I'm like, there's a place I've never gone in. I think once or twice I've had carry out for a party, but I'm like, I was kind of in the mood for pizza. So we went to Longo's Pizza. There's 2 locations. There's a Lakeshore Boulevard, both in Menor, Lakeshore, and then there's one on Menor Avenue. We went to the one off Lakeshore, and they're the same owners. They actually have a few other restaurants, I found out. They have Joey's Italian Grill, which is in Chardon and in Madison. And then they also have another one, which is in Menor. I've seen this several times. I keep telling Deb's not a big Italian eater, but I am. There's a Pastina rustic Italian restaurant, which I would say is probably a little bit more upscale.
Okay.
Definitely a place I want to try. Our buddy, remember Jeff from Tailgating every time.
Oh, wait, Jeff, the one that started Fire Food or whatever, the app thing, or the other?
No,
Jeff?
That's the other. That was Drunk Jeff. No, this is Jeff that we sat in our old seats back in 507 or whatever, sat in front of us, the gang.
when Peyton Hillis, every time he touches the ball,
5 yards. Yeah,
5 yards every time he touches the ball.
Him
That
and
guy
his
was
wife,
awesome.
Amy, I think they've been there before. I've seen her post photos. It looks amazing. So anyway, we went to the Lakeshore location. It's in a small plaza. It's a nice, cute little pizzeria place, I'd say. Started off great. They give you free garlic knots. In my book, you can never go wrong.
Started off great. I don't like what you're saying, Steve. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. And then they had a couple special apps that they're running at the time. So we did some fried zucchini, which was, again, one of the specials. And, it was simple, yet it was so good. Lightly breaded, fried to perfection. They were little like medallions and thinly sliced. They were awesome.
That's good.
If you're not a big veggie eater, fry it. I love it then. And then because we had Chris and his son, my wife, and then me, we got 3 pizzas because everybody wanted something different.
Okay.
My wife, she's more, I love her. She loves some of the weirdest stuff, though, on pizza. She's the veggie. She likes spinach, broccoli, all that stuff. I'm like, I don't want any of that on my pizza. I want the good stuff. So she got the California veggie, and I do believe I have a photo of that one. She got it small.
Hey, that looks pretty damn good. I ain't gonna lie.
I'll tell you what.
Sweet looking pizza.
I did take a bite of it, and I would say it was legit. It's a California veggie, which has garlic sauce, fresh spinach, broccoli, Roma tomatoes, provolone, and ricotta cheese. Basically a salad, I thought, but she loved it. She actually said it may be one of her new favorite pizzas, and she's not a big pizza eater by any means.
Interesting.
Yeah, so she enjoyed it. Then my buddy Chris and his son, they like a little bit of spice there.
Was that George or the older son?
George, the younger one that we got to interview with.
Yeah.
Good old George. I love George. They got the hot honey. It was funny because Chris kind of wanted to do the pizza that I ended up getting, but he also wanted that. I'm like, we could each do our own, and we could, you can have a slice. We could trade slices. So that's what we did. But the hot honey had red pizza sauce, pepperoni, bacon, jalapenos, and banana peppers, finished off with Joe's, not Mike's, but Joe's hot honey, which was on point. I had a slice of that. That was on point, and it was good.
That's the one I would want.
Yeah. That was, I got him. It was really good. It had a little bit of a sweetness to it, but it had just the right amount of heat, not too hot, but yeah, it was banging. And then I did, mine was your classic deluxe pizza. And that thing was loaded. If you're watching, you can see the picture. It's red pizza sauce. You had pepperoni, mushrooms, green peppers, onions, black olives, sausage, and then provolone cheese. And like I said, it's a classic deluxe, and it was just as good.
Oh man, that looks really good.
Yeah. And then we ended the evening. George wanted ice cream. Chris is like, no. We're like, do you have desserts? They only offer a few, and I don't remember what the one thing was, but they do like any good Italian place would do cannolis.
Cannolis?
Yep.
You sandbagging son of a bitch. I love cannolis. That's like my favorite.
Well, and George had never had one. So I joke with Deb. Deb's like, oh, those sound good. So we ordered, it was an order of 2, and we let George take one. I took a bite, man. It was phenomenal. Nice and creamy. I think it had a little chocolate chip in it. It was, overall.
Do they make their own cannolis, or do they get them from somewhere? Do you know?
Nope. They said, well, according to them, everything's made from scratch, authentic Italian food. So I'm going to say they made it. I don't know if I'm being that it's small. I'm going with, I think they made it. But overall, we enjoyed everything. Our server was Stella, I believe was her name. Outstanding. She was very personable, fun to deal with. She was younger. I'd say in her probably mid-20s, but I think something that stood out to me, and this for any place, I think she said she had been there since like 17. I think she's been there a good 7-8 years and loved working there, loved the owners. And to me, that says a lot. When you've got, let's be honest, the restaurant business is pretty volatile.
Sure.
The fact that somebody stays there that long, spoke volumes to me. So
sure does. Family restaurant, must treat her like family too.
Absolutely. Because when she first said it, for how long, I'm like, oh, are you a family? Is it, family? And she's like, no, I'm not related to them at all. I'm like, okay. So like you said, great place, solid place, good selection. They got your classic Italian pizzeria, appetizers, salads. They do burgers, subs, wraps, of course, a bunch of Italian entrees, pizza and calzones. They also have gluten-free options. So again, strongly recommend if you're looking for a good local pizzeria. There's 2 locations in Menor. They have Joey's out in Chardon and Madison, which I think from what I kind of are pretty similar. So I would recommend them.
Well, I got worried at first when you said it started off good. I thought something was going to happen, but now it makes me want to go to Longo's Pizza even more next time I'm out on the east side.
Yeah, no, they were. I really enjoyed it. So that was a good one. All right, buddy. Let's move on here. Excuse me.
It's time for one of our favorite segments, right?
This one's growing. We're getting some. I know some people are following it, but before we do that, we got a little bit of this is a perfect segue to our other sponsor, Poo Poo We Do. So dog owners, again, this one's for you. If you just adopted a new puppy through our friends here at Euclid Pet Pals, or if you already have a dog, nobody warns you how fast that backyard cleanup becomes a full-time job. So that's where Poo Poo We Do comes in. They're based in Painesville Township, and they serve all of Lake County. They handle all the dirty work that you don't want to do. They offer weekly, monthly, and even one-time cleanups. Services start as low as $15 for one dog. You can give them a call at 440-941-9798. Simple. You call them, they show up, they clean it up, and they're done. So they'll give you a free quote and mention there's a Gleam podcast sent you, and you handle the fun part. They handle the dirty work. So let's get that Gleam back.
Get it back.
And I don't know. Do I have that? Do you?
Fido?
The who?
The free agent Fido?
You have that up. That's cool. And we have the Euclid Pet Pals. I always like to pop that up there. So yeah, this week we got another free agent Fido of the week. And I will do this one here. So let me get all the lowdown on our free agent Fido of the week. This one's a little bit of a heart tugger too, I think, John.
Oh man, Steve, these doggy stories are kind of killing me.
Right? Nah, like I said, we'll see. One of us is going to break, I think, sooner or later.
If you start crying, I'll take over if I can.
Anyway, so, and then I'll let you do the photos and stuff for that, John. I got them all up for you. But our free agent Fido of the week. Here we go, Dog Pound. We've got a sleeper pick she's been sitting in free agency way too long. Want you to meet Estelle. She's about 2.5 to 3 years old and roughly about 50 pounds. This brindle beauty is the total package franchise player. We're talking elite locker room presence, high motor, nonstop affection, and a kiss game that belongs in the Hall of Fame. Estelle recently entered off-season workouts with Up and Adam dog training, and scouts report she's absolutely crushing it, John. She's running routes, learning plays, chasing toys, soaking up coaching. This girl is built like the perfect Browns culture fit. Tough, loyal, energetic, and a full of heart. Her scouting report is full body wiggle celebration after every interaction. That tail goes 1,000 miles an hour. Elite lap climbing ability, strong vocal leadership in the huddle, loves teammates and shows positive interest in other dogs. That's a good one because some of these dogs don't always mesh with other dogs.
That's true.
High energy playmaker with Pro Bowl cuddle potential.
I love that. Pro Bowl cuddle potential.
Right? Built she's built for a forever home system. The problem? She's a star player that's been stuck in free agency at Euclid Pet Pals for almost 2 years. She's 2.5 to 3 years old, so almost her whole life. And the kennel life is starting to become the equivalent of a bad offensive scheme, which every Browns fan can attest to that. Too much stress, not enough love, and no real home field advantage. But every time she gets out, she still shows flashes of superstar ability, the heart, the joy, the personality, and the love. Estelle doesn't need a one-year contract prove-it deal. She needs a forever contract. She needs a home, a couch, a loyal fan base, and a teammate that says, that's my dog. So if your roster is missing a playful, affectionate, high-energy companion who brings instant culture change to the organization, Estelle is ready to sign today. Don't let this free agent Fido spend another season on the sidelines, Dog Pound. And if you want, you can reach out to Euclid Pet Pals. We have their information. You can go to euclidpetpals.net. They have Facebook, Euclid Pet Pals. You can reach them at 216-289-2057. We have their information on our social media pages. And that's Estelle, John.
What a cute little pooch.
Yeah, she really is. We met her She was once next to Norris when we went there. The two are side by side.
Oh, okay.
As fate would have it, they were the two longest dogs there. So that was her. And then I just wanted to give a quick shout out, and I don't know if I pulled it up yet, but they told me at the Euclid Pet Pals, they're having a big fundraiser event coming up.
Is that this Friday, June 12th?
Yes. Yeah. Do you have that information, John?
Yeah, it's at the Irish American Club, 2270 Lakeshore Boulevard. That's in Euclid. They are going to have a barbecue dinner and more. And there's also vegetarian, vegan options available upon request. 50-50 raffles, $5 sideboards, Chinese auction, door prizes, music, dancing, cash bars. That opens at 6:30. So you want to get there at 6:30 and get a cold one.
Yep.
Dinner starts at 7. Tickets are $40 each and available at the shelter through Venmo, PayPal, or our website.
There you go. So check out their Facebook page, Euclid Pet Pals. But the information there, like you said, it's a great cause. Goes for all that money goes to them and helping them. So wanted to give that a quick shout out, make you aware, and that's it. So
Cleveland Dogs for Cleveland Dogs.
Yes, sir. Johnny, what do we got? NFL news. What do we got for
NFL? We got a little bit of NFL news today.
We do.
What's that?
We do.
So we've got, I don't even have the logo, Steve. I was going to put, there we go. You got it up. You are quick, my friend. Early Madden NFL cover favorites. And I pulled this article the other day. I don't know if they released the winner yet or not, but it was down to 5 players for the Madden cover.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Stafford, Bijan Robinson, Kenneth Walker III, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Myles Garrett.
Interesting.
Who do you think deserves to be on this cover, Steve, of Madden 2027?
I mean, it's a no-brainer. I think you take the man that just made history, and I'm not being biased, I don't think.
Myles Garrett?
Yes, sir. Who will you go with?
All right. Obviously, I'm going Myles Garrett because he's a Brown. But if take him out of the equation, I would probably, out of those I would go Jackson Smith and then Jigba.
I mean, that's not a bad one either.
What would you do if you took Myles out of that
I would probably go with, yeah, you know what? I'm a homer. I'm going to go JSN as well.
Yeah.
You can make a strong argument for Stafford. Reigning NFL MVP. He's 38 years old, you said.
Yeah.
I think we're definitely between those two, but I'm going to go JSN as well.
Steve, it's funny. We were talking about, remember old Jeff that sat in our section 506 or whatever that section was.
Mm-hmm.
And every time, when this was Peyton Hill's heyday.
Yes.
And he'd be screaming every time he touches the ball, 5 yards.
Yeah.
Well, Peyton Hillis was the last Brown, actually the only other Brown, I believe, that's been on Madden cover. And then you know what happened to him. He fell apart. So the curse, I don't know if the curse is still around, Steve. Is that Madden curse still around?
I don't know.
I think it's kind of gone away.
You think it's over?
For a while, it was really strong.
Oh, I was convinced.
Yeah, I was too. All right. Did you see any of the schedule release videos from the other teams?
I saw a couple. There were some decent. Anyone jump out to you? I'm trying to think.
There was one good one that was, it was regarding Doom. I think, what video game Doom? I think it was. I don't play video games.
Yeah,
but I didn't really understand what they were doing in the video, but it was well put together. I think it was the Chargers, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. I thought the Browns one was just corny.
I know it was the Street Fighter thing and
but they didn't even go through what the games were. That's the thing. They had a game here, a game there. It wasn't really saying much. So, are you a big fan of the schedule release videos?
Some of them. I mean, the Tennessee one when they did that the one year, and I think did they duplicate that again this year? I didn't see theirs, but that I thought was really good. Remember when they were trying to identify the teams and stuff? That's always funny to see people. There've been a couple good ones off the top of my head. I'm trying to think. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but overall,
yeah, they're
so.
NFL Netflix Quarterback is coming back for season 3.
Season 3.
Yeah, so the 4 quarterbacks that are going to be on this: Jaden Daniels, Baker Mayfield, Cam Ward, and Joe Flacco. We've got 2 Browns ex-quarterbacks on this season of quarterback on Netflix. It's going to premiere on July 14th.
Wow.
Kind of going to be interesting to see these perspectives. Well, Baker Mayfield, we know he's rebuilding his legacy. One of the better NFL redemption stories, I think, right now. After getting bounced around, and then he's, when they show the personal life, he's got does he have 1 kid or 2 kids?
No, just had the second one.
The second
last month or something. Yeah,
well, that'll be interesting. And then with Joe Flacco, you've got the old time veteran, been there for a long time.
Yeah,
and the cameras followed Flacco everywhere he went during that late career resurgence. With the Browns and Bengals, and it'll be interesting to see how they cover Joe Flacco. I'm kind of really looking forward to it, to be honest with you.
They're always fascinating. It's always kind of cool to see behind the scenes stuff, what these guys do, their lives and stuff. So I'm sure it'll be good TV. Baker, let's be honest, Baker's always been kind of good TV. People generally like him. You love him or hate him, but you watch him. So I think it'll be good. And Joe Flacco, before he came to here, you're like, he's Joe Flacco. He's kind of a dud, Mr. Stiff, but his personality came out a little here. We got to see it firsthand, and I was like, wow, Joe's a little bit different. He's not as quiet and just whatever you would think.
No, he's not.
So that should be. I'll watch, I'm sure.
And then the final last thing I have for NFL news this week is Super Bowl. Next 4 locations are announced.
Yeah, it just made the big one yesterday. Yesterday was the big announcement for the 2030.
Yes.
I'd ask you to do the Roman numerals, but I don't think we have enough time. I couldn't. I'll be honest. I don't think I could do it too. But
so, and this year it's in Los Angeles. Well, it'll be in 27 at the end of the season next year, February. Then Atlanta the next year, Las Vegas the year after that, and then in 2030 is Nashville, the one they just announced.
Yeah.
So
that'll be interesting. I mean, that should really, that opens in 27, if I'm not mistaken. And that should give Cleveland some hope, because I remember, years ago, 10 years ago, 10 years ago, they weren't really considered. They didn't have the infrastructure in place to really host. There was not enough at the time. And
really?
Yeah, I remember him talking. And that was Dave. I saw the number. Now I'm going to blow it. But now I think they're up to 60-something thousand hotels, and they didn't have that before. So they've really built up what they've done over the years. Now, granted, like I said, it's about 10 years or so, but they did it. So that should give Cleveland fans some hope.
Sure does.
All right, buddy.
What we got? We'll do your 2-minute drill, Steve.
Yeah.
And more things to go over, and then we'll get on out of here. I got to go to work today.
Yeah, I am kind of trying not to work if at all possible.
Well, I don't want to work today. I want to just, I don't know, lay on the couch and watch TV.
All right. So kind of making some tweaks here with this. And this segment, I really want it to kind of be rapid fire takes. And I want it to be on Cleveland sports, culture, basically whatever's driving me crazy today, or really what's going on. So I'm going to start with, somebody explain this to me.
Okay. This is new. I'm excited.
How do you blow a 22-point lead with less than 8 minutes to go in game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, John? How do you do it? That's a rhetorical question, because I'm going to tell you. What's that?
You let James Harden run the offense, I guess?
I'm going to tell you here, buddy, and you're off to a good start. You leave James Harden in the game to guard the best player on their team, Jalen Brunson, during that stretch, which made total sense. You don't call a timeout until after an 18-1 run, because, well, I'm going to let Kenny Atkinson tell you why.
I like to hold my timeouts. I mean, I didn't want to have one timeout at the end of the game, 1 or 2 point game. I try to hold them,
No, that's it. So they went on an 18-1 run, and you don't call timeout because you want to hold it in your pocket?
Hold them? Hold them for what? This ain't Texas Hold'em. You don't get to use these for next game, John.
No.
You know what? I felt like I got to pull this up because I love it. Remember Rocky IV? I I felt like Duke and Rocky IV. Throw the damn towel. I kept screaming, damn timeout. He wouldn't. He wanted to hold on to him. In the final 12 minutes, 49 seconds of the game, the Cavs were outscored 44-11. They shot only 22%. They only scored 3 points in overtime. And oh, by the way, 36-year-old, soon to be 37-year-old, and I think it's August, James Harden played the most minutes on our team at 42 minutes. Why? This is unacceptable. It's embarrassing. And quite frankly, this Eastern Conference Final Series ended after game 1. The Cavs are not going to win this series. I said what I said. Let me know what you think. Clip that.
Whew. I'll tell you what. I think you're right. I don't think the Cavs are coming back from this. I really don't. I want to argue because I just like arguing with you sometimes.
You do.
But I that was a collapse. But hey, there's always tomorrow.
I'm done. I just, and how do you sleep after stuff like that?
How do you say what he said with a straight face?
I don't know. And I forgot to do my one thing I wanted to do after the segment. I don't know if you saw, I got a new air horn sound, so we got another thing to play with. But anyway, Cleveland fans, let me know what you think. I trust me, I've seen a lot of it over social media. Try and go to bed after that debacle was fun. But anyway, that's my little 2-minute thing.
I loved it. I loved it, Steve. That's our new segment. We're going to call that, what are we going to call that? Steve Goes Fucking Nuts?
I don't know. We'll come up with something, but I don't want it to just be on Browns. I want it to be really anything Cleveland or what.
Got it. I got it. I like it.
And I want to try and move it faster. But anyway, I know you got something you want to talk about, something new that we want to be doing. So I'm going to let you talk about that.
Yeah. So I've got a new little thing I want to do. It's about tailgating, Steve, because Cleveland and tailgating and football, it all kind of goes hand in hand. And a long time ago, once upon a time, we had a website called Lot Zoo, the tailgating epicenter. And I thought, no better time than right now to bring some tailgating back to the show. Let's talk tailgating. We can talk beer. We can talk about food, tailgating. But I've got a question. So just to kick this off real quick, Steve, I want to know, what is the one thing that you can absolutely not forget when tailgating? Now, I know that every tailgate's different. Sometimes you and I tailgate together, and we've also tailgated with 100 people at the Muni lot. So everything's different. But if there's one thing that would ruin your tailgate that you forgot, do you have anything that you're like, man, I wish I would have brought that. I can't believe I forgot it.
On a sentimental side, I'd say you.
I hope you wouldn't forget me.
After the year,
the parking lot, like, wait, I forgot John.
It's been different. When we haven't tailgated together, there's times you haven't or I haven't come down. It's different. That's for sure. I mean, after the stuff we've experienced, if we're tailgating and doing ours and not like going to a place, I mean, it starts first, I think, with some alcohol. I got to have a little before we go in there. Plus, I'm too cheap to pay the prices at the stadium. So for me, I got to have some alcohol.
Okay, so if you forget your beer at the cooler on the back porch when you left to go to the Muni lot, you'd be calling Deb, run the cooler down to me.
Yeah, or hoping and praying you brought extra, but you usually drink everything you bring. So what's yours? What's your one thing?
My one thing is when we did the music, Steve, if we didn't have music, it's just because I'm a music guy. I love music.
Yeah, no, that's a great call.
If we don't have, and it happened to us a couple times here and there. We
had some technical difficulties, and trying to do music makes everything better.
Yeah,
most of the time.
But it doesn't compensate if you don't have beer.
That is true. That is true.
So that's my first segment for Latsu. We're coming back, the tailgating epicenter, and we'll be talking more tailgating stuff throughout the year.
I'm excited. I love Latsu. We should have stuck with it. You started that years ago when we were in our prime tailgating years. Right. We had so many sponsors that gave us their products to have at our games and stuff, which was phenomenal. And then you actually had started getting to a point where you going to other I remember you went to Miami.
Yeah. And went to a Buffett tailgate in Cincinnati.
Yeah. So you were starting to bounce around, and then, I don't know, life got in the way or whatever.
That's exactly what happened, Steve.
Well, let's be honest. I think part of it was the Browns were terrible during that stretch. And it was let's be honest.
Well, we started losing a lot of tailgaters in that 2013, 14, 15, 16. We just Guys were dropping like flies.
We started off with the two of us, then hooked up with some other buddies that we didn't realize were across from us in the Muni lot. So you turned into about a half a dozen to we would have anywhere from 25 to 50 people tailgating to towards the end. It was just back to about 4 or 5 of us to you and me. And then hooked down with somebody else to tailgate. Yeah.
Hey, we're going to build this up again, though. Latsu tailgating will be alive and well this fall.
Yes, sir. I agree. So, all right, buddy. On that note, we're going to close out the show. Want to thank everybody for joining us today. That was fun. Thank you, our buddy James Frank, Mike Palmer, Dominic. If I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Thank for the comments. Love hearing from you guys. Want to thank our sponsors, Wet Jet Pressure Washing, Poo Poo We Do. Check them out. We also have their information on our Facebook page and stuff. Euclid Pet Pals.
Yeah.
Big shout out to them. Don't forget, and they got their big barbecue event coming up again. We have it. I shared it on our Facebook page. So you can check it out there. You can check it out at them. Remember where you can find us, all our social media platforms. I won't read them all. Hopefully by now you know where we're at, and hopefully you're sharing with everybody. We appreciate it. There's a couple quick comments here.
Oh, I missed it.
Rob said Cleveland Super Bowl, LFG. Let's fucking go. He also said that would be crazy. Amen, Steve. Preach. Latzu 2.0.
2.0.
Go. Rob Jacobs. Maybe one day Master Chief Rob Jacobs.
That's right. He's up for Master Chief. Let's hope he gets it.
Good luck with that. Thank you for your service, Rob. Glad you're back to listening to us. So anything else you want to add, John?
No, just thank you for listening. Continue to like, follow, drop us comments, and enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully the weather treats us well this weekend. Other than that, go Browns.
I echo everything you just said, John. And remember what Coach Marty would say.
Gleam, man. There's a gleam. Let's get the gleam, all right? Let's go.
Have a good week, everybody, and go Browns.